Now, are your children, if you have them, at school this week? They ought to be. Most of them don't break up for another few weeks, but today we learned that 5% of all pupils in this country are off. Not because they have COVID, the vast majority are in rude health. No, it's because they've had the dreaded ping. Someone in their bubble at school, and that bubble might include scores of kids, has had a positive test result. In total, more than 375,000 pupils are off school as of last Thursday. That figure has almost doubled in a week. How many of those 375,000 kids actually have COVID? Just 15,000 have had a positive result. The majority, 279,000, were self-isolating due to potential contact with a COVID case at school. There is a growing sense that this policy is a massive epidemiological sledgehammer to smash a very small nut of infection. It is grotesquely disproportionate. Our children have already missed out on months of real education, and the medical risk, even for those who have COVID, is tiny. As we know from painful experience, coronavirus is a deadly disease for the elderly, not the very young. What about the teachers, you say? Well, most of them are now double jabbed. What about working parents? For them, it's a logistical nightmare. I should know. I'm a single parent of school-age kids who had to take a fortnight off when one of them tested positive last year. But even though they've all almost certainly had the virus, and I'm double jabbed, they will still have to take 10 days off school if someone in their year group bubble gets pinged. What about the kids themselves? They can learn online, of course, but as any parent will testify, it's no substitute for the real thing. This is not the time for schools to even think about declaring that school's out for summer, that kids can break up early. Every day of formal education counts more than ever. Nor is it probably a day for the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, to be launching a campaign against mobile phones in schools. It's a laudable aim. Many parents will agree with it. This one certainly does. But right now, Mr. Williamson and his department need to be completely focused on finding ways of keeping kids in school who don't need to be at home self-isolating. The teaching establishment needs to step up too. The government's planning a COVID testing blitz come the start of the next term in September. One ed teacher is reported as saying today they were being asked to set up something akin to field hospitals. Do get a grip. We need a sense of proportion and a certain can-do attitude right now. Not hyperbole, and not whole year groups of kids sent home from school because one of their peers has had a positive COVID test. Our children need to be in school unless their health is seriously at risk, and right now it's not.